Dun, dun, dun.
Bum, bum, bum. We have a trade. Trade is in. The San Francisco 49ers, according to Adam Schefter, are working to finalize a trade that will send edge rusher Bryce Huff to the San Francisco 49ers for a mid-round pick. The trade cannot and would not be processed until after June 1st. Both sides are working to make it happen, and Huff already has reworked his contract to help facilitate the trade. In San Francisco, Huff will reunite with 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Saleh, his former head coach with the Jets. This is the type of deal the 49ers had to do. Bryce Huff is a 27-year-old defensive end, 6'3", 255, an edge rusher. He had 10 sacks in his final season with Robert Saleh with the Jets in 2023. Did not have the same success last year in Philadelphia, but this seems like a good deal.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I'm surprised he only lasted the 1 year with the Eagles, but yeah, it could be contractual. I mean, it definitely checks a box for the 49ers. They need all the help they could get on that defensive end to opposite Nick Bosa because, I mean, let's face it, you got a rookie in Michael Williams coming in out of the first-round pick, so how much pressure are you going to put on him? The depth chart looks like it would be interesting. I think they'll have to make a tough decision or two, but instantly he shoots up. I think he's your starting defensive end. That's why you make that trade, and you get a guy that Robert Saleh is absolutely comfortable with. He's had several years with. I mean, I think that's a big win for the 49ers.
I think it's a huge win.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about this, like there's a possibility that they would go around and add a couple of pieces using some of their draft capital, which they'll accumulate from next year. Remember, the 49ers, like they had this crazy purge of players, right? But a lot of them left as free agents and are signing with someone else. And when that happens, you start getting compensatory picks. The 49ers are going to have a ton of compensatory picks. Yeah. And they didn't even go out and participate in free agency. And a trade like this or signings that will happen after June 1st, again, won't work with your comp picks. And they won't damage your comp picks. So 49ers are going to have plenty of extra picks going into next summer. And adding a guy like this makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, and OTAs had just gotten underway out there, and it's neat to see that they got a lot of those contract extensions, obviously to Brock Purdy, to George Kittle, to Fred Warner. You got your business handled before you even got to OTAs, let alone training camp. So now, you're able to add a piece like Huff. You can obviously, you made a tough decision in getting rid of Mitch Wishnowsky, the punter, the other day. You're bringing in some kickers to, just in case maybe Jake Moody's not right. Maybe you got to. Yeah. I mean, there's some interesting stuff going on, but I like the fact that it feels different from previous years where a lot of those contract negotiations trickled into training camp, some of those tough decisions and financial decisions. Now you just got to get, whatever. I still of the opinion Brandon Ayuk will be here. I think he'll be, he'll get healthy. How long it will be till he makes his debut, but get him right. I don't think you'll be as talented as you were in years past, but you might have a better team, and it might be. It could be a more benefit, especially with Saleh back, because to me, a lot of their gripes were on the defensive end, especially with due to the injuries, and they just have to stay healthy.
No, I'm with you. And that leads us to the second 49ers story we have of the day. Ricky Pearsall has been ruled out for the remainder of the 49ers offseason program with a hamstring injury. This is not good. This is like the 49ers receiving corps already stretched so incredibly thin because of the Ayuk injury. He probably won't be back until midseason. Now, Pearsall is going to miss what was a really important offseason for him because he missed most of last offseason with injuries and then getting shot early in the season. Juwan Jennings, I swear, is becoming like the most valuable person on the 49ers roster.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not as worried about it as long as he's good for training camp. Hamstrings, we know hamstrings can be tough.
Yeah.
I know there's the people would probably joke about him taking Debo's number and maybe all of a sudden some of the injuries are now trickling his way. But look, I'm not worried about OTAs for him. I'm not worried about I'm not worried about the mini camp that comes up next month. Just be ready for a training camp.
Okay.
That to me, don't have anything trickle into training camp because I think training camp for him will be very, very crucial. But staying healthy, I mean, man, get these things out of the way.
How much does our wide receiver room concern you guys going into the season? Because it's not necessarily strong. Like you're hoping Pearsall kind of develops into something. Jawan Jennings is a strong receiver and all that. So you're kind of seeing what he looks like with more touches and all that. Ayuk comes in probably halfway during the season, and I'm sure that guy's going to need more time to get acclimated coming off a torn ACL. And it's like you got CMC on that offense to kind of carry everything connected, but there's not much room for error, I feel.
No, you have Kittle, plus you went out and you aggressively found
true, you got
a second tight end, right?
Oh, they brought back his best friend, El Dorado Hills product, Ross Dwelly. He's back after 1 year with the Falcons. He's now got another opportunity
Okay.
with San Francisco.
Dwelly's back, but they also their big free agent signing was a tight end, and I can't remember his name.
Oh,
Carolina,
Jordan Watkins.
No, I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong. They signed a tight end to a 3-year, like $21
Luke
million.
Farrell.
Yeah, Luke Farrell.
Luke Farrell.
Yeah, to like a 3-year, $21 million deal with the hopes that maybe you can run some 2 tight end sets and stuff like that. I don't know.
I don't love they don't have great receiver depth. I mean,
no,
with Ayuk out, I mean,
Demarcus Robinson is facing potential suspension, and so even that,
and also like a lot kind of has to go right there too. I mean, obviously they still have Jacob Cowing. I mean, they were high on him last year. He had some moments, but I still think they could use another receiver. But what washes out? Can you add someone of real value? I mean, maybe there's some camp meat that comes up. I'm not sure, but I think you're fine going into this stage of the season. You'll maybe see a cut or two that happen with other teams, and maybe you can snag something. But I agree with Jesse. I mean, to me, it's not what it was. But you do rely on your tight end unit a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You have one of the best in the game in George Kittle. You've just rewarded him. So,
and I think the McCaffrey mention is huge. I mean, McCaffrey, he looks like he's back to 2 years ago. McCaffrey, that's nice and all, but he is aging as a running back. He does have a long history of injury. There should be some concern, but if he's healthy, that's a 80 to 90 catch receiver out of the backfield. And so that does change everything. It's, to be honest with you, it was one of the biggest ingredients that was missing from last season.
Oh, absolutely.
It's your inability to throw a check down pass to a running back that was competent and could go get you yards. It just was not something that they had in their bag, and it hurt them. It hurt them big time. Another